This is a gold mine. If you guys are watching out there, you got 5.5 to 6 weeks of real time to get a bunch of these up. What you said to me at Printify Amplified, if you want to have a 6-figure Q4, this is how you do it, man. What's up, all you beautiful humans? Jay here from Jay's Way again, and I am with Stephen Chin one more time, who's a legit multi-million-dollar Etsy seller. Like, it's mind-blowing how many sales he's got, and I didn't want to bust the bubble and say what we are, but we're going to be talking Christmas ornaments today. He's also the co-founder of hellocustom, and boy, do we have a friggin' treat for you guys today. We're going to walk you through a full end-to-end tutorial on how to create and sell custom Christmas ornaments on Etsy using Printify, while having the customization part of it completely automated. And yeah, I'm not even kidding. Entirely automated. So Stephen, awesome. Thank you for showing up again at such short notice. We were just kind of having a quick chat yesterday about it, and it was like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of value here today. Super stoked for this. So thanks, man.
Yeah, Jay, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to share this because a lot of people might be thinking it's a little bit too late to launch Christmas ornaments for Q4 this year. So I sell Christmas ornaments, first of all. We launched in October, so we're going into October right now. And I think I finished my designs by the end of Halloween. So I was literally launching this product going into November 1st. And we sold, I think, 20,000 units that season. So it's like, it's never too late to launch a product. You can launch into the season and still, like, again, you have to have the right product, the right designs, the right launch strategy, the right listing. Like, you have to do everything correct for it to work. But in terms of, like, is it too late? It's not. So I'm really excited to kind of show you guys, you know, from A to Z, right? Like, you know, from the market research, like how to find the designs, what niches you should be selling in, the product on Printify to automate the fulfillment, how to create, you know, a simple design inside of Canva, and then how to automate the personalization with hellocustom. So that's from A to Z, how you can launch Christmas ornaments this year on Etsy. So yeah, I'm super excited to share this with you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, and to your point, like I listed something, I think I was on the 10th of November. It was a day before Remembrance Day here. And it was a custom Christmas sweater last Q4. And it caught almost immediately. And those next 28 days, like 4 weeks, it was like, it boomed. I think I hit like at the peak, like 25 a day, 30 a day, you know, and it's just a Christmas sweater, that custom family last name, right? So there's massive value in personalization and setting yourself apart a little bit. So
exactly. The peak 30 days for Christmas ornaments are like the 30 days before it's too late to arrive in time. So typically, like, shipping is like a week. So take Christmas, go a week past, you know, prior to that, and then the previous 30 days. Those are like going to be your peak 30 days for sales. So you haven't hit your peak 30 days yet. So as long as you're live, you're launched,
mid-November to mid-December, you got it.
Yeah. Black Friday to 30 days later is pretty much is what's going to kill it. Okay, so essentially the first thing we need to do when you decide to launch a product is you need to do product research first. Like, what product are we going to sell? But we've already kind of just determined that we're going to sell Christmas ornaments, right? So we've already done like the product research already. The next step that you have to do is market research. Essentially, what design on this product are we going to create to sell on the Etsy marketplace? This process is actually pretty simple. Essentially, the way that you do that is you go to Etsy, you search what the product is. In this case, it's going to be Christmas ornaments. And then I recommend using a product analytics tool like EverBee, for example. They have a product analytics tool where on the search term Christmas ornament, it'll give you predicted. So this isn't exact, but it's predicted sales estimates. That way you can see, hey, this design is doing a predicted this many sales per month, predicted this much revenue per month. Is that something I want to launch? In looking at this information, the columns that I look at are more so the total sales, because these are hard numbers. Essentially, EverBee is able to actually get the true review count, and then EverBee knows the average review ratio or review rate. Therefore, this number is pretty accurate. So, like, you know, 1,787 sales over a lifetime of 20 months. And we know that Christmas comes once a year, right? So they launched this last Christmas. It hasn't been 24 months yet. Therefore, they haven't hit their second Christmas yet. So in the last one Christmas, they sold 1,787 of this Christmas design. If that makes sense, right? So what's really cool is you're able to take the search term Christmas ornaments. The entire that search term on Etsy has over 26,000 search results. You're able to have everybody scrape all of Etsy, and then you're able to maybe filter that from total sales.
I keep saying 1,000 too, but it's millions, 26 millions.
Millions. Yeah. So there is competition, but it's still never too late to get started.
Hey,
so
no, you and I share the same sentiment about that, right? Like, competition. No, I never look for low competition. It's just sometimes it's just not worth it. There's not enough demand, right? Like, high competition, sign me up all day, right?
My most successful products, it's almost like in line, it's parallel. Like, the more competitive a niche is, the more money that product makes because there's more demand. And again, there's more competition competition, but if you're doing everything right, competition shouldn't be a variable. So like this shows you, for example, that in the last 36 months, so they're probably going into their 4th Christmas this year, they sold 36,000 ornaments, which means they're selling about 10,000 of this design every single Christmas. So that's kind of how you can create a list of like what designs to create. One thing when creating the designs, which we're going to go into a design, is you always want to make sure that you're not copying. You're never going to win when you copy, but you will win if you look at this and take design elements out of this. Like, what niche is this ornament? What color palettes are they using? What style? Is it more cartoony, watercolor? Is it more vintage? Take these design elements and then funnel your design through that to make your version of this design. And that's how you add value to the marketplace. So once you have your list of essentially the designs that you want to create, I'm gonna give you guys a quick knowledge drop really quick, or a quick golden nugget. Every video has at least one golden nugget. This will probably be that golden nugget. Is because we are like kind of crunched on time, this process does take you maybe about a day of your time. So to kind of save you on like at least the niche research, I'm gonna give you guys the 10 niches that I sell in. Again, I sell Christmas ornaments myself. I think our number 2 on Etsy, and we sell about 20 to 25,000 ornaments every Christmas. So the 10 niches that I sell in are in no particular order: is baby's first Christmas, first Christmas engaged, first Christmas married, anniversary, baptism, godparent, promotions. Promotions, not like, you got a promotion in your job, but promotions like when you have a baby, your sister becomes an aunt, your brother becomes an uncle, your mom becomes a grandma. You're promoted to first Christmas and new home, but also first Christmas and new apartment. Those both do really well.
Nice.
Memorial, both with people and pet, like pet memorial or like, a grandma memorial product. And then the one that you probably wouldn't predict is teacher. Teacher ones actually kill it during the season. I think it's maybe because it's winter break or people buy their stuff for their teachers. This is one that I haven't sold in for a minute, but there are so many people that are just killing thousands and thousands of teacher Christmas ornaments every single year. So that's one to definitely add as a teacher, personalized teacher Christmas ornament.
Love it.
So now that we know essentially the product is Christmas ornaments, we know the designs that we're going to create across those niches. The next thing that we need to do is now go create the designs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Canva. We're going to create a simple design to kind of show you the process of how you can start coming up with the designs inside of Canva. And then we're going to move over to hellocustom and how to automate the personalization for these Christmas ornaments. So the cool thing about that is this is the first Q4 hellocustom has ever existed. There has never been an Etsy seller in the world who's used hellocustom for Christmas ornaments. The previous 2 Christmases, we've had a computer lab full of people just typing in names and dates addresses, typos and defects, and it's almost defeats the whole purpose of print on demand, making it so manual. So I'm really excited for Christmas this year that there are tools like hellocustom that now exist to where it automates the personalization, which has never been done before. So
like even if you're just changing a family name on those Christmas sweaters I was doing last year, even if it only takes you like 30 seconds a pop to open the file, change the name, save it, and then upload it, 30 to 40 seconds maybe, but you do that like 20, 30 times a day and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine if you're multiplying that by...
Sweet. Yeah, it's like you're excited for the sale, but then you're sad you have to go personalize it. And the thing with Christmas ornaments too is when you do your market research, you will see, and I'll kind of just scroll down. I'm not searching personalized Christmas ornament, I'm just searching Christmas ornament, is everything is personalized. Like Sophia, Vinya, name. There isn't a Christmas ornament on here that isn't personalized without at least a name, a date,
Pretty much,
a new home,
yeah.
an address. So you have to do personalization. I'm saying this from experience, not just to plug hellocustom, but like you have to do personalization on Christmas ornaments to be competitive in this competitive niche. So to create the design, the first thing to do before you create the design is we need to know essentially the file requirements. So the first thing I do is I go over to Printify and I search what we're going to create the design for. In this case, it's going to be Christmas ornaments. And then in terms of, they have a handful of different Christmas ornaments, but the ones that sell well on Etsy are these round 3-inch ceramic ones. So I wouldn't waste your time. I mean, you can, but I just don't see the sales there for these wooden ones or like these metal ones or these plastic ones. It's these ceramic round ones. So I'm just gonna click into this one right here. And then we're gonna click into start designing. And then in the bottom right corner, it tells you the file requirements. In this case, the print area, the shape of the file needs to be 960 by 960. So essentially a square graphic with a maximum resolution of 30,000 by 30,000 pixels. So now that I know that, I'm gonna go over to Canva, and you can use any design tool that you guys are comfortable with, but I'm gonna create a design that's 5,000 by 5,000. So it is a square, it's within the pixel resolution, but I think 5,000 by 5,000 will have a better resolution than 960 by 960, just because it is a printed product. The next thing that I do is for Christmas ornaments specifically, is Christmas ornaments are a round product. So we can't really put anything over in these corners because it would not be onto the product. So what I like to do when I'm creating design for Christmas ornament is I like to make the background kind of a gray color, and we're gonna remove these at the very end, but this is more so just for a guide to stay within, and it'll just make your life so much faster to start this way.
Perfect.
Let's make this circle white. So now we know all of our design elements need to be within inside of this white circle for it to be on the ornament. Very similar to this right here, right? We're giving ourselves this very similar guide. And in this example, I'm going to create a pet memorial ornament. So pet memorial is one I've probably made 6 figures in on. I've probably, between my pet memorial Christmas ornaments, I've probably made 6 figures over the last 2 Christmases. So this is definitely one worth creating. So for this one, sometimes the more vintagey looking designs do really well. So like sometimes I'll take like a granite background and I'll make it like maybe 30% on the transparency, just to give it like a nice light kind of granite look to it, kind of give it like that more vintage look. And then for this one, I'm going to go over to elements. I'm going to type in maybe watercolor dog paw. Watercolor is a really good I guess style that does really good on ornaments, not like the cartoony ones, but more like watercolor or vintage.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a design aspect there too, and the process element, because if it's being sublimated, the way the print process works is that there's a gaseous transfer, right? So there's a chemical reaction that happens, and you can get what's known as ghosting, which is a little bit of blurriness or fading on the edges. So doing something that is inherently, like you're junking up the background a little bit, and I use the word junking not in a negative way, but like you're adding some kind of like something to break up the the solid tones that would otherwise make slight imperfections super noticeable. So watercolor is a great one to do that with. Yeah,
it's really cool that you know that. So yeah, ghosting is one of our #1 defects. So I'm gonna grab that. I don't see like a black one that looks really good that's black. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll grab one that's of a color, and then I'll just remove all the color from it. So I'll go over, I'll add a pink one, for example. I'll click on edit photo, adjust, and I might make the brightness 0, contrast maybe all the way. Maybe I'll make the blacks all the way and the whites. So now I took that pink design and made it black, and then it's a little bit too dark, right, for being like kind of that vintage. So I might make it maybe 75%. So now we have a dog paw. So this is a good starting point. This is like our main clip art right here. In terms of clip arts, like right now I'm grabbing clip art from Canva, but they are like a little bit limited. If you are looking for clip art for your designs, a place that I would recommend you guys grabbing clip art from is Creative Fabrica. So you guys can go over to Creative Fabrica. They have a huge library of like, clip arts or anything that essentially you need as a print on demand seller for your designs. So I'm assuming
we'll drop discount links all down below for all that stuff too. Perfect. But yeah, I use them. I love Creative Fabrica for fonts specifically. I'm a kind of a typographist that way. I love drawing letters, and bar none, it's an easy win, because I think it's a really cheap annual subscription, like less than $8 a month I think, and unlimited, right? So anyway, yeah, it's just a huge asset in the library for you guys as a designer. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna type in loving memory of. I might take this and add a little bit of letter spacing just to spread it out a little bit. And you're not worried about the circle at the top where the ribbon goes, right? You just kind of stay clear about it. I kind of just add like 1/5. So I know that I just kind of know the circle is like right here. Like mentally, I just know that it's like on the top like 1/5. So I'm just that's why this guy is more like right here, giving ourselves some margin right there. And then in loving memory of, let's add the dog's name. Maybe Scooby-Doo. For this one, I might type in for a font, engagement is a decent one. And again, guys, this is super fast. I'm not taking into anything account other than the fact for speed's sake. And then at the very bottom, I'm going to put year 2023. All right, let me just space this out a little bit better for you. That way it looks half decent. All right, so I'm going to add one more element just for... Got to tug at those emotional heartstrings if it's memorial's not good enough, right? Exactly. I'm just going to grab a white little heart really quick, make it fully white, make it small. And this takes me to another thing you and I were talking about too, is like once people have added this to their cart, you could almost charge, not that you want to gouge necessarily, but it doesn't matter what you charge for shipping because they're already emotionally invested. There's no way they're pulling this out of their cart. Exactly. So, all right, guys, so this is and then I might make the fonts here just a slightly lighter black, not so dark. That way it looks more kind of realistic as the whole vintage look. All right, so this is in loving memory of dog name, so personalized 2023. This is the year Christmas ornament. I think that's good enough. So now that we have the design, everything's in the correct spots, what I'll do is I'm just gonna kind of scoot this element over a little bit. I'm gonna delete this white circle and I'm gonna make this background back to white. And what we need to do to create this product onto Printify, we need to download it first as a PNG. So we go up to share, download, PNG. And I always do transparent background even though we have like that background, and click on download. We'll now go over to Printify, and then just to kind of go back to essentially where we were, you first search for the product,
you find the product that you want. In this case, we're just going to choose this one. You choose a print provider. In this case, there is only the one. We're going to click on Start Designing, and then we are going to upload that PNG that we just created. Perfect. And then you can always like size it, space it. You can kind of move it around however you want to do it. But essentially, I think because we made it the full square width, this is good. In terms of this white, or in terms of this dash line here, you don't have to stay within this. This is kind of just a safety margin. But if you go, as you can see, the 2023 is below it. But if you go over to preview, you'll be able to see that it is still on the ornament. So I think
you haven't had any issues with that at all.
So I will say that we make our own Christmas ornaments. We do our own production. I think this is because of like placement, that if they have a holiday worker who's just like slapping the graphics on there, they don't want you having graphics too close to the edge, because if they place it just a hair off, it won't make the margin. So they're just doing that to have more like, I think, control over keeping
and it becomes centered. Noticeable too if you're off center and stuff.
Yeah, but I think the preview gives a very clear indication that it should be on the product. And then a really cool thing here is they give you a really good image of this product right here, where like when you get to the step where you are making like your listing images, your mock-ups, like you can always legitimately copy this graphic, take it back over to Canva, remove the background, and add that as one of your elements to one of your mock-ups. So this is a really good mock-up right here to element to add. So
even the other two there look great.
Yeah. So now that we know that this looks good, we're going to go ahead and click on Save Product, and then we're going to go ahead and click on Publish. So what Printify is doing now is it is taking that product and it is publishing it over to your Etsy account. You're still going to have to optimize the title, the images, the descriptions, the shipping, the price point. You're still going to have to do all the listing SEO, but now the product is live over on Etsy. And now that this product is live on Etsy, we can now go over to hellocustom to set up a template so that way we can automate the personalization. So that way every single time a sale's coming in, you don't have to manually type in the name and the date for that ornament. We'll go back over to hellocustom really quick, go to templates, we'll click on add new, and this is where you can upload a PDF of your graphics. So we downloaded a PNG. So being that we need a PDF, we'll go back over to Canva really quick. We'll go back up to share, download, and we'll change it from PNG to PDF print, and then we'll keep it in RGB color profile because PNGs are RGB, so it's in that color profile. So we want our PDF to be in the same color profile. That way the colors are exact. We're gonna click on download, and now we'll go back over to hellocustom, and then we will upload that PDF. And then so right now, hellocustom is essentially taking that PDF and it is converting it back into an editable template. This typically takes about 5 seconds to do. All right, perfect. So hellocustom just uploaded that PDF, and as you can see, it took that PDF and it converted it back into an editable template.
Oh, look at that.
So now it's edible inside of hellocustom. So to create a template inside of hellocustom, the first thing that we need to do is give the template a title. This is for internal purposes only. So I might type in, Pet Memorial.
So does it know what fonts, or you're going to get to that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
The next thing that we need to do is tell hellocustom what product inside of Etsy does this graphic belong to. So we'll click on product variants, and then all of your Etsy products will pop up here. This is just our dev account, but this is that product that we just created inside of Printify, pushed over to our Etsy account. So we'll select the product here, and then it's going to pull in all of the SKUs for this product checked by default. In this case, there's just one SKU, but if you're doing apparel, for example, where like you have a white graphic for some of the shirts and a black graphic for some of the shirts, you would just unselect the SKUs that you don't want for this specific graphic, and then click on update. Now hellocustom knows when that SKU sells on Etsy, use this graphic. The last thing that we need to do is essentially get the graphic ready for like what needs to get personalized in the graphic and how. So in this graphic specifically, this is going to be where a name is going to go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the max allowance. This is essentially how long can this text get before we want it to dynamically make the text smaller, because we don't want that text falling off the side of the ornament, right? So we maybe the widest we want this is maybe right there, because if it's any wider, the end of the name and the beginning of the name would fall off the side of the ornaments. So that's kind of a cool feature that hellocustom have, is we call it auto fit. It auto fits in this text box. The next thing is, how do you want this personalized? Do you want it to be center aligned, left aligned, right aligned, maybe all bold, italics? In this case, we want it to be center aligned. And then this is a name. So we're going to tag this as name. The last one that is personalized in this example is a date. The max allowance might be a little bit smaller because again, it is a circle, maybe right here.
And those tags are already preloaded?
Exactly. So we're going to tag this one as date. So right now, hellocustom can only automatically personalize names, dates, addresses, and phone numbers. That might sound a little limited, but on two factors. Hellocustom is still new, so we are adding more tags, but also I've personally sold over 210,000 personalized products on Etsy during peak season. reasons we're ranked top 20 out of 9 million shops. And we only do names, dates, addresses, and phone numbers, text-based personalization. So
names and dates is all you need, because as soon as you put that onus on the customer to give you more information, then it gets a little daunting for them, right? It's that information
exactly
overload.
So of our personalization, 90% is name and date. You add if you take any design, you put a name on it, now it's personalized. Take any design, you add a name and a date on it, now it's even better. The only time you really need like an address is, you know, first Christmas and new home, and then you put like, you know, their address there, right? So
Got it.
But I would say that this is enough to be able to stand above the competition, at least for this Q4. So we're going to tag this one here as date. And now hellocustom knows that when the shopper types in, for example, can the name be Daisy and the date be 2020, or sorry, maybe 2011 through 2023. hellocustom would put Daisy here, and it would put 2011 through 2023 here. So now that we've given it a title, we've found the product, we've selected tags. Jumping on your question really quick is, does it know the fonts? So hellocustom only cares about the font if it is meant to be personalized. So hellocustom doesn't need to know this font right here because it's the same every single time, but because it's going to dynamically personalize this text element, it needs to have this font to be able to do that. So if you tag a text element and the font is in our font library, in this case engagement is in our font library, you're good to go. Okay, perfect. So this is a good example. So we tag this one here as date, and the font we used here is Alice. Because hellocustom does not have the font Alice, you get this following error message. So at this point, you have the ability to where you can either upload the font, add the font here where the error message would go away, or you can select a similar font. So with that, we actually have a font slider here. So I added this because sometimes I like to be able to roll through fonts really fast. Like if you want to find a similar font, you can kind of roll through the fonts and be like, which 2023 looks similar?
Come on, that's amazing.
And then you might be, okay, that one looks good enough. Okay, so
it's the details, it's the little things for me, man. Like this is a great feature.
So yeah, and then so now we have a font that hellocustom does have. The error message goes away. Now you can publish the template. So that was that feature we added last month to be able to select a similar font in this scenario where you don't want to have to go find the font to upload. All right, perfect. So we just now made the template. So now every single time that product sells on Etsy, hellocustom will automatically personalize the graphic and display it for you in our approval queue. So we just created that product, so it hasn't sold yet, but I have another example ornament that we did do a test order with a few days ago, so I can show you what the approval cards look like inside of the approval queue. Essentially, you will see a thumbnail of the personalized graphic side by side with the Etsy order information. You'll see the product, the quantity bought, if there were any variations, and what the shopper actually typed in. In this case, I typed in, can the name be Joshua's and the date be 2024? hellocustom took the graphic for this product sold and made the following graphic. Joshua's 2024. It uses the correct color, font, placements, and best of all, the correct personalization.
You didn't even
and then
need
if everything looks
quotations.
correct, yeah, exactly. So we use AI for this, so they can type in anything here. They don't have to say put name in front of Joshua's and date in front of 2024 for it to know. They can type in anything, and then the AI knows essentially entity recognitions for name, date, address, phone number. So it essentially scans this, finds name, scans this, finds date, and then dynamically puts those in what we tagged as name and date. So that's kind of how the AI plays into this.
Love it.
And then in terms of like the layout, like the graphics side by side with the Etsy order information, like this is how we do it in my Etsy shop, manually, or have been doing it manually this entire time, is where we have the graphic and we have the packing slip and we look at them side by side. Does that look correct? Yes. Now it goes to production. So essentially we took that and then made our approval cards at a very similar level. So if everything looks correct on the graphic, all you have to do is click approve, and then if you are integrated with Printify, it will automatically fulfill the product for you. And then when it gets shipped, it will go back over to Etsy, mark the order as complete, provide tracking details, and it's the same process as if it was manual or if it was non-personalized. If for any reason the customer wants to make any changes to it, maybe like in the note the seller they ask, like, can you actually make it Joshua Chin's, like add a last name? Click on the three dots here where you have the ability to either download the graphic as a JPEG, PNG, or PDF, or you can edit the graphic. So the graphic will pop up in our editor where you can make those edits to the graphic. Click on save, and then it will overwrite the graphic thumbnail. And then when you click approve, the updated graphic is what will be sent over to Printify. So essentially what used to take 2 to 5 minutes to personalize the graphic, and then 2 to 5 minutes to manually update the order on Printify, can now be done with the simple click of a button.
This is insane. I've told you, you were the first person I told, I think a couple days ago when we chatted last about this, talking to me contextual, we were touching on stuff, so I've been doing birthdays forever, right? So this is like a game changer for me just for that, never mind the Christmas ornament thing. So this is a gold mine. If you guys are watching out there, like we told you earlier, like you got 5.5 to 6 weeks of real time to get a bunch of these up what you said to me at Printify Amplified, I remember where we were. We were by the food table near the coffee maker, espresso maker there, and you're like, if you want to have a 6-figure Q4, this is how you do it, man. Just do Christmas ornaments. And I was like, what? You're like, yeah, just do personalized Christmas ornaments. I'll show you everything. And I'm like, blah, 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 right? And I was like, I remember those kind of like those moments of awe, or like, you know, where you're dumbfounded for a moment. And you're like, wait, what? 6-figure Q4 and we're already at the end of September. What? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Ornaments are pretty incredible, man. Like we saw a handful of different product types. And Christmas ornaments, we get the bulk. We probably do like 95% of the sales for Christmas ornaments like 30 days before Christmas. So in those 30 days, Christmas ornaments make us more like profit. Like what I care about is profit, money in our pockets.
Yeah.
We make more profit in those 30 days than we do with our other products throughout the entire year. So like put that picture, like, okay, I can launch apparel, I can do mugs, tumblers, phone cases. You know, those will sell, those are evergreen, they sell year round, but you take all the money and the profit collected for the entire year. Christmas ornaments can do more in 30 days. And the cool thing about Christmas ornaments too is, one, it's like the season's coming up, so you don't have to wait all year to get that big cash grab. So it's coming up, perfect timing to get started. But also, like, I sell like 5 Christmas ornaments a day throughout the entire year. So like 5 Christmas ornaments a day times $5 profit, $25 a day times 30 days. That's like $1,000, $1,500 we make profit every single month. My ornaments pay my rent in July. You know, so it's like the designs for Christmas ornaments that do well are the baptism.
I was gonna say baby born and baptism. Oh yeah, that's like all year round.
Because those are evergreen events. Like babies are getting born every single day, so therefore baptisms are happening every single day. Godparent proposals are happening every single day. And a Christmas ornament in that scenario is just like a sentiment. It's just a nice gesture, a gift for, you know, Godparent proposal or the baptism, the guests who came to the baptism, and we sell on average 5 a day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I mean, I sell Christmas stuff throughout the year entire. Like, people just buy it, right? Like, not as much as they do in that last 30 days before that Christmas or whatever. But yeah, I can see where, you know, if you're incorporating like the baptism stuff, the baby's first Christmas, the promotion stuff, those are all gifts that you want to give at the time of that event happening, right? And then they'll just sit them, you know, display them on their mantle in their house until Christmas comes. And they're like, every time they walk past it, they're itching to get that on the tree. You know what I mean? So, and then they'll be going to be coming back to your shop too if they like it, to grab all kinds of other things, right? You'll be first on their list because it's like ultimately sitting there as paid advertising on their mantle for the, you know, remaining months until the Q4. So it's brilliant. I love every minute of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So for everyone watching, like my advice to you guys is just get started, just do it. Don't be crippled by the fear of time. You know, is it too late? Don't be crippled by the fear of competition. Is it getting too saturated? I'm seeing multiple ornament videos going live on YouTube. Is it going to get too saturated? I would say like 99.99% of the people watching this video are not going to take action. Like, it's just, it is the statistics. It is what happens. Very few people actually take action and take action at scale and take action with excellence. So if you are that 0.01% of the people who do it, like, you will be forever grateful, I think, that you took the action, because we're going to a Christmas season where things just 10x, you know, like we make like 50 to 70% of our revenue for the entire year in the next 3 months.
Totally.
So you're
I'm in the same boat.
Perfect timing. So be optimistic, be excited, be stoked for Q4, put the work in. It will take work. 100%. This is not, you know, get rich quick or anything easy. We'll take work, but come, you know, once Christmas is over and you look back at the last 30 days, you're going to be like, that was amazing.
But people need to understand too the magnitude of setting yourself apart with, you know, actioning or implementing customization or personalization, right? Like, and then to have that piece automated, it means typically you would have to like charge, you know, you'd want to charge $10 more per item that you're customizing, just because to make it worth your time for all that stuff. But like, if this is automated, I mean, whatever the subscription is, you know, you're talking like pennies a day. Ultimately, it's this is a massive win. And it was one of the things that you were just saying about people not taking action. One thing I remember from interviews at Printify HQ there a couple weeks ago was that Phil Gray, who's one of the success managers, he said that what they see on their end of Etsy startup shops, 40% of them give up within 3 months. So like, don't be that 40%, right? Be on the other end. Be on the 60% that actually takes action and stays longer than the 3 months. But then, like you said, to your point, 99%, 98% is a real number that probably won't action any of this stuff today, which is a crying shame, because this is, like I said, Latvia, Riga was like a city of inspiration, and I've never been more inspired in the last 3 weeks than I have now, and then like, it just doesn't stop, right? It just keeps snowballing. So if you're going to be inspired and you're going to take any action, this is the time to do it. Literally, it can set up, this Q4 can set you up for the next, like the first 2 quarters, the 6-7 months of the year, right? Before you get ready for the next Q4. So pull the trigger, take action. you know, if you're ever on the fence, just do it. Jump in. It's never going to be perfect. You have the time to change it. You can never be perfect. The platforms are always changing. So you're going to have to inherently like just stay abreast of changes in your niche, color trends, platform changes, algorithm changes. That's all real. So don't even try to be, you know, opening the perfect shop or create the perfect listing, right? It has to be good enough and it can get it done, get it listed, and learn from what works, right? Repeat that recipe for success. Been awesome, man. Like, thank you so much for coming back. That's two quick visits in 3-4 days or so. Appreciate everything you do. The value you provide is absolutely tremendous. So I hope everybody pays attention, listens to you, and, you know, takes action. Thanks so much, Steven.
Thanks, Jay. Really appreciate you having me.